Bricks and Minifigs owner admits he lied to the police. I mean, then let's go.
Bricks and Minifigs situation has a brand new development because Joshua Johnson, our favorite bald-headed, happy guy who likes to have his dogs out during police interactions, has just made a response to CoffeeZilla exposing him in his entire video that he released like last week.
His grippers.
And yeah, it's a pretty interesting response, so let's just get right into it. This is from Legacy Killa HD on X or Twitter. So, first of all, the original thing that happened in the CoffeeZilla video that started all this is CoffeeZilla reached out to Joshua Johnson and said, how many layaways were left over when you took the store? Do you know? And Josh said 2 to 3 sets were on layaway, right? Obviously, that was heavily conflicting with what Chris...
Because the way Coffees was saying in that video was actually as well, there were way more layaways. There were way more layaways
said
than what they said they were. Than what they said.
And what she said her records reflected. She said the vast majority, I think, of Brian...
My reaction to that go up on my KOL channel or no? Does anyone know?
Brian Mansell's collection was on layaway because there were so many high-ticket items, and I'll get more into this later, but basically there was some conflicting information. And CoffeeZilla found this police report, got access to this police report that says in this highlighted section by the...
You sure? No, I was asking like if you guys saw my reaction to CoffeeZilla's reaction to the Bricks and Minifig situation. Was that also up on the KOL Plus channel? Because I didn't check today. But hold on. So you're saying that also for the Rocks flashback, we should be getting it around halfway in this winter? I'm thinking it's going to start. I think it's going to start probably. Like we could start the end of the year in December with the Rocks flashback. But I don't think we're going to be getting like, I don't think we're going to be like, you know, start. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it should start. But not halfway through Winter Core. Like, because I think halfway through Winter Core is kind of, I think pacing-wise doesn't make much sense. But I can definitely see us being, though to be fair, if they really wanted to, they could, let's say, get to, let's say, some of the content in the Rocks flash or in the Rocks flashback where you get to see like Rocks pull up for the first time, and then they end on that note, and then we come back later next year, 2027. So yeah, they could do it that way. Oh, cool. I just started making videos. Congrats on YouTube, and I'm having a lot of fun making them. Nice. Can you give me any advice? Well, I would just say whatever you're gonna be doing, dude, be consistent with that shit. That's a problem that I have to this day, but I would definitely say whatever you're trying to focus on, you want to definitely be consistent. That's like probably the primary thing, and then see what's going on with your videos. What do you want to improve on? What performs the best? And try and focus on those elements of your content. Okay, whether it be streaming, whether it be short form, long form, whatever you're gonna be doing, you know. But though, if your idea is, let's say, not in terms of success in game, but more so your own artistic expression, then try and emulate that to the best of your degree. But again, be consistent with that shit. Whether you're doing it, weekly, daily, a few times a week, whatever it's gonna be. Consistency is very important there. YouTube loves consistency. And they love watch time too, so that's also very important. Yeah, this one's 4 hours. Okay, no, there was a 4 hour plus video on the Lego stuff, but I don't know if you upload the. You know what? I'll check it later because there should be there should be an upload for the CoffeeZilla reaction.
Which is another interesting detail. However, due to the claim that Mr. Mansell continues to call the business despite being told not to and encouraging others to do so as well, he does not want to give these items to Mr. Mansell. He added that he also doesn't feel he needs to, since the store's inventory became his once he took it over. So that's just a part of the police report where Josh basically told the police that, hey, Brian is just harassing me, he keeps calling me, so I'm just not going to give him his property back, even if I know it's his. So that's basically how it works. Insane. I'll keep it if I want to. If Brian isn't making me feel good, if he isn't being kind, I just won't give his...
Also, shouts to Lego Star Wars in the background.
Stuff back. I'll just hang on to it forever and,
I have actually not seen a single Lego anything. Whether it be a movie, a TV show, I don't really watch. The closest thing I've ever seen to anything that's like Lego related for a show, entertainment, is Bionicle. That's literally it. It's not even Lego. That's the only thing I've seen that's been remotely close.
Feel it. Sounds like a fair thing. Yeah, I don't know if Josh knows how, let's say, the law or morals or anything like that works. But with that being said, this police report also says that Josh told the police
I've never seen Lego Batman.
The vast majority of items were on layaway when he took over the store. So, CoffeeZilla sends a message to Josh and said, "You told the police the vast majority of items in the store were layaway items?" And Josh says that is either an exaggeration by the police officer or a mistake by me. There was no list left of any layaway.
How do you go from 2 to 3 to the vast majority? That's insane. Or how do you go from the vast majority to 2 or 3?
The only layaway I am aware of was the Ewok Village. I had nothing to do with the day-to-day operations of the store. I wouldn't know if they were layaways. I wouldn't have been asked about it either. Amanda,
with the amount of money that this was pushing, I doubt that. Though again, CoffeeZilla kind of theorized that actually it was worth like half as much as people said it was, or theorized it was. With the initial census being around 200,000, but actually when he did his analysis, it was around 100,000, which I think it makes a lot more sense. But even still, like without much publicity and also without much money, I think they should have been aware of how much they actually had on layaway or not for those sets.
Or the two employees that were there under Crystal and Brandon would basically know more than me, he's saying, would know the day-to-day operations. And he goes on to list a bunch of random excuses. I'll show them on screen. You can read them if you want. I really don't feel like just random excuses. I'll show them on screen.
Josh, but I won't be able, but I wouldn't be the one to best. But I wouldn't be the one to be reliable on that. I was not involved in many details of the store. Something I would have said is, it is unknown what is layaway and what isn't. They all could be. Huh? Nah, if you had known prior to with the vast majority, then you would have had a better idea. Even in terms of, okay, let's say what is not, the idea of the vast majority dwelling not to 2 or 3 is fucking bananas. They all could be, who knows? A police officer may interpret it that differently. You can read them
if you want. I really don't feel like just reading all of these blatant.
We would have held on to them for a period of time in case there was a layaway. It is also reasonable to believe that all these layaway sets, Jesus Christ, have been sold. It would be easy to figure out exactly how many there were. Look at those sale records from November 14th and January 14th. See what Star Wars sets were sold. Look at the shape price and no
excuses that don't make up.
Coffee asked, but what I don't understand is why the officer would put in his report that you said that if that isn't true. Like the Ewok Village, because no, that's true though. It's like, hey, okay, if you got the number wrong, there's margins of error here that are tolerable. If you just said there were a lot of them, I can't give you an exact number, but there was a lot of them, versus only 2 or 3, that's literally only 2 or 3 boxes of like the tens, like the dozens you had. So it's hard to believe that, okay, out of the dozens you had, only 2 or 3 were layaway when the vast majority of them were layaways according to you prior to. So it's more House Slytherin shit. Like the Ewok Village, look at what we sold it for, what the real value or the normal sale price was. With that one, you could be able to see Crystal took, say, 500 and we collected another 300
for the lie that Josh was just caught in. But basically, what Josh officer? Here is saying,
when was that?
Yeah,
out of control. What
lie that Josh was just?
I don't know what officer.
Josh
when was
here
that?
Is saying,
I don't control what they put in their report.
Yeah, I might be a little mistaken. I might have made a little mistake, but it's the police. They're exaggerating, and my manager, my employees, everyone under me, they're the ones to blame. They know what's going on.
And you're right, Cole. I was wrong about how many episodes were left. This core. The false with the core probably end with Rockstar. Yes, yeah.
Hang on, I only own the store. I don't know.
It just makes more sense also too in terms of pacing as well.
I don't work there.
Like you want to end the season on a high note. I can't believe I'm saying season of One Piece. Jesus Christ. You want to end that part of One Piece on a high note.
It's just my store. You know what I mean? So yeah, he basically dodges all the responsibility, doesn't take any accountability for that, and doesn't even outright say he's lying. He just said, yeah, I might be mistaken. I might have been mistaken when I told the police that, or they're exaggerating. So then Coffee eventually, after some much needed conversation,
Kaiser Police, May 6, Jennifer Stearns was the officer who signed off on. Jennifer Stearns, so mentioning by name.
He shows the screenshot of the police report catching Josh in this lie. And he said,
was it Stearns or just Stenarns?
This is the Kaiser Police, May 6th, says the officer's name, it was in 2025, all of that. And of course, in that police report, it says that Josh told the police the vast majority of...
I can't read the entire thing, but said the vast majority of them were layaway. Paid the rest of them
items in the store when he took it over were on layaway. So now...
Lord Mysteries, I'm hyped for that for sure, but I'm waiting for Lord Mysteries to get dubbed in English because the special is not dubbed in English yet. I'd much rather wait until it comes out in English because going through that in Chinese is brutal.
Coffee not only says that the police report says that, he shows the police report and says, Josh, you can't escape this. Like, here it is. You're obviously lying one way or the other here. Tell me what's up. And Josh says, oh, that's understandable. I was out of my mind angry. Nothing I said was coherent or reliable at the time. So basically, the first part of his response here is to say,
admission of guilt.
Oh yeah, don't trust me when I was talking to the cops.
He lied.
The cops
he lied.
I'm totally
he
comfortable venting to,
and you can argue, okay, yeah, he was in a grievous state, or what's the term legally? He was in distress, but nigga, come on, bro. You were comfortable as fuck.
Telling everything because I think they're gonna be on my side.
The shit. Because some of those cops were literally people that you sat next to in the Mormon church. So don't lie to me.
No matter what, by the way. Yeah, I was just angry, incoherent. You can't trust anything I said in the past because now it goes against me in the future. So basically, you can't use any of that against me because I don't think it makes me look too good now. So yeah, don't trust what I said in the past. Trust what I'm saying now, and trust that I'm not lying now. Trust that I'm telling you the truth because yeah, I'm just a reliable guy who likes to have his dogs out on the police body cam. And then he also goes on to say, let's just look at the sale records. It's also reasonable to believe that nobody is going to lay away small ticket items, only say $500 in value or more. So look at these sets that were sold that have a retail value of $500 or more and see if we sold them for 30% off or more. That will answer that question. Now look, I don't know how Bricks and Minifigs operates. I don't know the day-to-day, much like Josh. I don't know what's going on in these
much
stores
like Josh.
100%. So
wait, what you're saying on police record is something that at least you had some inkling that was going on. You may not know everything, but you had some idea about what the hell was going on in terms of the amount of because Brandon told you too the amount of things that were available that were layaways or not. You had an idea.
I can't say for
you clearly did because otherwise why the cops say that?
Certain whether what Josh is saying here is completely reliable information or not.
What the fuck is this Legos cartoon in the background? This is ridiculous.
But I will say, he's trying to lead us away from certain evidence. He's saying, okay, I may have just lied to you. I may have been mistaken when I talked to the police. I was angry, unreliable, don't trust what I said then. Yeah, so maybe my story has changed like 3 times. But now you can trust me and I'm willing to help. This is where you look. Don't look over here, don't look over there. Look right here for the evidence and maybe...
Yeah, I know it's Star Wars, but what's going on is ridiculous.
Maybe you'll find it. And my guess is, if you look exactly where he's telling you, you won't find what you're looking for. You won't find there's a bunch of
you have to watch on Patreon.
Items on layaway, or at least not more than 3,000 or whatever Josh was claiming earlier. And just from me reading this and having a little thought myself, he says nobody is going to lay away small ticket items, only say $500 in value or more. But there's one problem with that as far as I understand it. Brian Mansell, he had a very large collection. It was like $100,000, right? Whatever, whatever it may have been worth. Say $100,000. I think $107,000 is the acceptable number now. 107.
That's the number that CoffeeZilla kind of estimated. But I mean, you can argue even more, honestly. So I mean, I would say at least $100,000. I would probably say like $125,000, $130,000 because there are things that he can't. There are things that CoffeeZilla couldn't account for. It's only what he accounted for, per se.
$1,000 Lego Star Wars collection. That's a lot of Lego Star Wars sets. No, they're not going to be worth $500 each or more. That's insane. But what does happen is when you have a store like Bricks and Minifigs with all this new inventory and all these customers are coming in, all these Lego Star Wars collectors and saying, whoa, you have some dang good inventory. I want to make a big purchase. You have a lot of heaters here, right? I want to make a big purchase, get multiple sets. then you might want to do layaway, because not everyone can afford to pay hundreds, thousands of dollars, in one big purchase for multiple sets. That doesn't mean that these items won't be on layaway. It doesn't mean people won't want these items on layaway if they're not $500 or more individually. You don't think people are going to buy multiple sets when you have a collection as good as this one, over $100,000 worth of
the quality's
Lego
good.
Star Wars sets? I guarantee you there were some really great sealed sets in that selection, and that is why a lot of
They're sealed. They're sealed for sure. Star Wars 60, bro. That is a massive. I just say at least $100,000. I can definitely see it being 120, 200 to 130. Because Coffee, I think, came to the conclusion that it was around $107,000 for what he could account for. So there are probably things he couldn't account for, and then because of that, there's a good chance to be said that, what he couldn't account for would be just probably I want to surmise probably maybe a few $10,000 more.
Customers probably had items on layaway, multiple items on layaway, because they wanted to bundle them up, buy multiples, and they
69, great number. That's pretty low.
Because there's a lot of stuff there at one time that they all want.
And actually, I'm thinking now at this point in time too, just considering the publicity, I think that if there are a lot of sets that are still there, because some of them were sold, obviously. But if there's a lot of sets that are still sold, that haven't sold yet, there's probably a good case to be made that those sets are not going to sell for more money. But just because of the publicity about what's going on with this whole situation with Bricks and Minifigs and this set, I think that alone is going to raise the value of the sets, honestly.
It's a great selection of sets, and obviously that can add up pretty quick.
Gorman's 107?
Doesn't mean every item's going to be $500. It doesn't mean that only items
I'm pretty sure Coffeezilla have that number too.
Individually could be on layaway. That is
so
just,
Gorman could be saying what Coffeezilla is saying.
From what I understand, that's just a complete lie, and Josh is trying.
Because I feel like the only person that would know per se would be like Mansell's granddad
to trick us.
Got to have it in the first place.
But yeah, it's not going to work. And if I'm right about my assumption that a lot of people probably bundled different items on layaway because they couldn't afford to buy it all at one time, then yeah, Josh was just caught in another lie. And say even all this information wasn't correct that Josh is now saying, who says we can trust it anyway? Because look at what this same person has done. Look at what he's told cops. Look at what he's texted Coffeezilla in the past. Look at what he says when he's literally confronted with evidence disproving what he just told Coffee. Yeah, I don't think he's a very reliable person to be trusting at all. And at this point, we should just look at the evidence and assume Josh is going to try to lead us astray. Because nothing he said can really be trusted so far. But with that being said,
hardcore footage.
Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Yeah, obviously, Josh, you just can't trust him. He's not a reliable source, and he's not reliable, period. So he's probably lying there. It's safe to say. Do we know for sure? No, but it's safe to say. Here we go. The legal move that could save Reckless Ben. Okay, RICO case overturned.
Bricks and Minifigs case, as we have an intervention that may end up blowing this wide open. Of course, this is the legal mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. And this has been a wild ride in the case of Reckless Ben, Bricks and Minifigs, which has now become a massive legal battle. And one thing that we've got to pay attention is Reckless Ben's RICO case. He has this massive case that he is now facing, and that is coming.
What was the idea again? That he was the one that stole the Legos, and they blamed it on him. And so they raided his Airbnb, thinking that he had stolen Lego sets, and of course they found none.
To ahead very soon with hearings on that coming.
What a fucking what a shit show.
Up imminently, like very, very, very soon. And one big decider here is the Law Gormans, which have now filed officially a motion to intervene in this case. Now, we're going to explain all about this, exactly what that means. But first, this important message.
Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent historic verdict on serious mental harm they caused qualify for a case. $1,000.
Okay, now, here's some context for those that need background. Obviously, you've got Reckless Ben. His stolen Lego allegations involve a time when the franchise was owned by Crystal Law and Ben Gorman. That's what we're going to call him, the Law Gormans. Ben confronted several people.
Cole, we need to see you back in the gym, my guy. I want to see. Actually, I've been doing pretty good. I have I'm down 25, which is nice. What I've been doing is that I've been just lowering my carbs to like under like 10. I've been basically going like keto. I've been only eating essentially just like protein and fat, and I've been actually feeling a lot better. It's crazy. Like I don't have sometimes I'll be doing shit and I had like brain fog. I would not be focused at all. I'll be like all over the place. But I've been doing a lot better. I'll say problems with my eyes too, but they've kind of faded away ever since I've been taking more vitamins, and also just again like cutting out the sugar massively. I really tried to just cut down my net carbs in general. Because I remember when I tried like that keto lifestyle years ago, I want to say like 2019, I felt fucking great. I felt fucking fantastic, my boys. And I never went back to it since, but I went back to it recently. I was like, yo, this shit is really like peak. I don't know if I can maintain this for a long period of time, being like, oh shit, like let's go, full on keto. Let's see for like the rest of my life. But it feels like just doing that or being in this, low carbohydrate diet, I've been doing for the past like what is today? The 23rd? I've been doing it since the 25th, I believe, of May, essentially, and it's been great. I've been feeling a lot great. Yeah, I'm feeling great, really good. Hence why you can see me like because I'm streaming more often. You've noticed that I'm recording a lot of more videos too. Like I'm actually more locked in, which is nice. I have more energy because like I only had like a few hours of sleep today because I had to handle some bullshit earlier today, and some fucking bullshit. But even with the like low hours of sleep, I can still function pretty good. I'm not great, but like I am tired, but I can still function like pretty well. Way better than I could before. If I had, let's say, no sleep, I was done. I was cooked. It's crazy, but it feels like my biggest issue was the carbs, bro. It was the carbs and it was the sugar. Like, I was kind of going low sugar for a while, but it felt like, we're Haitian. Haiti. And then I go to, let's say, see my mom. Let's say some events. Let's say I go to New Jersey, off my members. It's always going to be rice, pasta, fucking, like, potatoes, sweet potatoes. There's always gonna be a lot of carbs everywhere, right? A lot of carbs everywhere. I mean, shit, in New York, with a lot of people in my area, they're like Italian, Greek, there's carbs that are everywhere. And so it's been an interesting change for me, to kind of revisit this diet that I was doing years ago and see how I feel on it. And it is, man, wow. Like, I feel like this is the way to go. I'm not gonna say, to be fair, I still consume vegetables, right? I feel like people that are on the hard carnivore diet, those guys, I don't know if I can commit to the carnivore diet. I still I have like a lot of kale, mushrooms, beans, like string beans, onions, peppers. Okay, fine. Pickles. I have vegetables, a lot of vegetables. But carnivore diet, I don't know. That's why I'm like, I may do that in the future. But I just want to see how I feel on keto for a few months, see how I feel, see if I lose more weight, Peak KOL on the Oliva diet. That's the idea. You can fix your eyes if you go to surgical. If you get surgical implants, your brother's eyes have a reliable source. Definitely, of course. I mean, listen, my eyes do probably need to get surgery. I'm gonna lie to you. I probably do need that Oda laser eye surgery if I can get it, if I'm able to, if I qualify. More of the paleo diet? I guess so. What's the really I've been eating now? I've been eating mostly proteins. So mostly actually it's a mix of red meat and chicken and fish. Though less of the fish, more of the chicken and red meat. I've been doing some research into the ecosystem of food nowadays. Let's call it like that. And one thing that's crazy is when you look of the amount of pesticides in fruits and vegetables, they are vastly more in those category of foods than, let's say, the meats, or the fats, even organic vegetables. They have a lot of pesticides in them. Apparently, part of the reason why you would still see relatively, I think the cancer rates of people that are, let's say, vegans let's say carnivore are higher as far as, this is what I did research. I could be wrong. Obviously could be wrong, but from what I said, from what I researched, they're higher because there's more pesticides in vegetables. Let's say red meats. That's the idea, and also it could be because of the lifestyle too. Where like when you're eating red meat and you're eating a high fat diet, you don't feel as hungry anymore, and so you're more likely to intermittent fast. Whereas when you eat vegetables, I think people they eat more frequently on a regular basis. Like I had a meal, what? Probably say 3 hours ago, and I don't feel like, and the last meal I had before that was last night around like 10. So from like 10 p.m. Not 10. That was I was streaming. I had a before stream. No, I had a during stream. It was during stream. I forgot when it was exactly. Maybe it was like 1. But either way, from like 1 a.m. to like 4 or 5 p.m. I didn't eat shit essentially, and I was okay. So yeah, I was good to go. Either way, I've been doing because I've exercised a lot more, walking a lot more. I'm kind of getting back to like I can actually walk and I can actually like semi jog. I can't sprint. Like I can sprint, but I don't want to sprint just yet. But I can exercise and I can walk outside and I can do various things like that for a long period of time that I could, like just be around about. Which is good. The weights, I've kind of like taken a few steps back with the weights in terms of my lifting. I used to lift more back in the day, not can anymore. So I'm trying to get back to what I was before. When I was benching like 345, when I was squatting like 680, you know what I'm saying? But that's gonna be a hurdle to get back to that kind of, muscle mass. When I was, back in college, when I was just fucking repping that shit. But we're not there yet. So I'm trying to work my way back to those levels. All right, either way.
People in Utah leading
Breaks Minifigs.
to him getting misdemeanor charges. We've also talked about that on my previous videos, charges like stalking, trespass, disorderly conduct. And on May 30th, 2026, BAM, Bricks and Minifigs Corporate, filed a civil RICO case against Ben, the Mancells, and others alleging coordinated harassment and extortion. Now, that was huge because that came along with a TRO, a temporary injunction, which really stopped Ben from creating content. And he came out with a video explaining as much.
Episode 3 is finally finished, but I can't post it or I will go to jail. I am no longer allowed to even mention this mystery company.
Now, the Law Gormans have a separate lawsuit, a completely separate from Ben, separate from everything. They have a lawsuit going with BAM Franchising over an alleged wrongful franchise seizure. So they've got this separate lawsuit that they have an interest in going after against BAM. So now what they want to do is they want to come into the case with Ben, with Reckless Ben, and they want to intervene. Now, they are not going to be full defendants or litigate the entirety of the case, but what they're really concerned about is narrowing or dissolving that temporary restraining order that's keeping Ben from speaking.
About it, yeah.
And so what do we've got here? Well, the first important thing for intervention is that they're not defendants.
I like that. That's pretty smart.
That's
they're not defendants,
the other thing is that TRO is overreaching. And by having such a strong restraining order that keeps him from making any videos, that potentially chills free speech, right? It doesn't allow people to publish the truth, to get news out there. And that's very important for them, given their separate fight with BAM, Bricks and Minifigs. And that could impair their ability. That could hurt their lawsuit and their discussion of the facts. If they're not able to discuss their case, that's going to hurt their case. So they're asking the judge to narrow or strike the takedown, clarify that the order does not bind the Law Gormans, or just decline to give a preliminary injunction. So say, hey, everybody can speak about things. There's no limits. And let's look at the legal standard here. This is very important. For intervention, there's really two types of intervention. Number one, intervention as a right, and number two, permissive intervention. There's a very strong argument under the rules of procedure, which I had a chance to go look up and discuss with some of my Utah colleagues. There's some strong points for intervention here under the permissive intervention.
If they're Mormons, don't trust them, dude. Or you have to vet them more thoroughly. The entire religion is now under strict watch. The entire religion. But it's one Lego case.
That is because there's common issues of
strong argument for persuasion, common questions for law, flagged, escape of the injunction relief, First Amendment limits, Brian and Crystal language on
law and fact, because the scope of the injunction is too broad.
Yo, what's up, Space Bear? How you doing?
First Amendment, that's a problem. And because, and this is a very key fact, that restraining order mentions specifically Brian and Crystal. So it literally name drops them.
True.
And because they've got their names in that order, they've got a strong reason to
By the way, you guys want to play Marathon or no?
Intervene and to be pulled in this case. So when you look at my judge.
Actually, scratch that. No, I can't play Marathon because I have to play the games. Because if I don't play the games, by the time the year's end, I'm going to get fucking ragged on.
Here, what I think is going to happen, this is a very smart, limited play by the Law Gormans to protect their own case while also getting good PR. Everybody is on the side against BAM right now, it seems like, and they're able to come in and say, hey, we're helping Reckless Ben. We're on the side of good here. We're coming in.
Yes! Multiple religions are on fraud watch. True. Multiple, bro. Multiple. Fuck
doing
yeah,
a
they've
positive
been.
thing by opening this up, by not,
They've
having
been,
accepting
bro.
speech, by allowing for.
But specifically when it involves Legos, it's the Mormons. Every time I see a Lego set now, I'm worried if a Mormon's gonna just jack that shit. Every time now. Every time. You never know. You never know. They slide on in there, looking nice and fancy, grab that shit, run away. Boom. Ours. Every time now. The whole religious sect is jaded now. The entire thing.
I do think they have a very clear interest to intervene, and going over the odds and talking to people about it, I think they've got about a 75 to 80% chance of intervening and having an effect here. So that doesn't mean necessarily that the judge is going to get rid of the TRO, but just for them to be permitted to intervene and then the judge to consider what they said seriously. So I think they're probably allowed to do that.
I ain't trusting no Amish.
Not everybody
Amish are hella sus, bro.
can intervene. A lot of times, many people want to step in the case, they want to get involved, but the judge says no. There's no, in this case, they don't have a right, 100% right to come into the case, but the judge has a good reason to permit them to come into the case. I think there's a 75 to 80% chance they come in on that. And if this happens, if this indeed happens, they're allowed to come in. Reckless Ben's part 3, his whole strategy now opens up. It gives him a lot more.
I'll trust the Amish when they give the ability to have actual structural, functional, modern day equipment within their homes, and we know what's going on. Then we start trusting
leverage.
them.
So I am absolutely
Until then,
waiting to see what happens with this TRO, with this hearing that is coming up very shortly. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.
All right. It's like right now, the way it is fucked up, dude. All right. You can't trust Mormons or Legos. You can't trust the Amish, period. You got to be very careful with the Catholics and little boys or little girls, mainly little boys. When it comes to people of the Islamic faiths, whenever there's some sort of activity, whenever someone yells Allah, what the fuck is going on? You're on edge, obviously. Buddhists, they seem humble and nice and fucked up. They seem humble and nice, so maybe they're the best ones so far. Maybe. But then they also bred Wimby, and it's like, hold on, how do you breed this scumbag? Like, what's actually going on with you guys, right? So and then you have what's going on in the Hindu religions, and no one ever trusts India for nothing because everyone sees the videos that's going on in India when it comes to their food, when it comes to their cleanliness. Like, yo, no one trusts that. Like, I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't know who to trust. Fuck. Zionist, Confucius, why not? Fuck it, dude. Oh, the Jews, Israel. What's the meme? Jew. Just it's like, fuck. Who do you trust? Can't trust no Christians, no Catholics. Can't trust no Amish. Can't trust no Mormons. Can't trust no Jews. Can't trust no Muslims. Can't trust no Buddhists. Can't trust no goddamn Zionists. Can't trust no fucking goddamn Confucius. Can't trust no Shinto. Can't trust nobody. What the fuck is going on?